So this was kind of last minute. I just had an idea and I wanted to try something, and then I thought, you know what, I might as well do this as a live video. So I did a bunch of prep and I just have everything ready to go. So now I should be able to assemble this fairly quickly, and you can watch how I use my planner dies and other planner pieces to create a fun scrapbooking layout. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to flip this camera around like that. There we go. Now I just got to get this kind of positioned. Sorry about that. And let's zoom in a little bit. Whoa, that was a lot. Because it's a scrapbook layout, I need a little bit more space so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, whoops. Maybe one day I'll get a better mount. Okay. I think we're going to go with that. And let me just check here so I can see when anybody pops on. Put my volume down. Come on. Okay, I got to figure out comments because, of course, they've changed how that works. So that looks like I can probably zoom in a little bit more. Oh, I see a couple of eyeballs there. I'm just making sure that my camera is sitting nicely for you. Okay, so be sure to just drop it out and say, hey, that you're here. I will try to keep an eye on some comments. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to use a bunch of things, but these are the two main things. So I've got this journal file XL. I love this little file folder die cut. And it doesn't have a score line in it, which is perfect. So I can use that on my scrapbook layout and nobody would know that it was meant to be in a journal. And then I also have these journal sleeves fillers 1. So this is a newer set from Elizabeth Craft, and all of these little squares and rectangles are designed to fit into these little pockets. So I'm going to use a bunch of these. I love using things like this on my scrapbook layouts. So I'm just going to set these aside. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, I've done a bunch of prep work just so that you don't have to watch me doing kind of the mundane stuff. Oops, little peek there. Not going to show you that yet. So I cut out some of my paper. So this is just some paper I had in my stash. I've cut out using that Journal XL file. And then this is just the UPC strip that comes on the paper pack. And I thought it would look nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some stenciling on my pages. So there's a little peek at what I did. So I was kind of experimenting and I had an idea last night and I thought I would try it, and I am just love, love, love. So I'm going to show you how I did that. So I'm just going to set this aside and then take this piece. I'm going to use my non-stick craft mat. I'm going to need that for a little bit of this, I think. You can see my little pictures off to the side here, which I'll go over once I'm ready for that. Here, I'm going to turn it this way so it fits a little bit better. Okay, it's not overly sticky anymore. Okay, so there's my base page, and I'm going to grab my stencils. So I pulled out a few stencils because I'm going to do more than just what you saw there. But what you saw there was I have this stencil. So this is what I would call like a little map stencil. It's from the Planner Essentials stencil pack number 2, or anyway, it's number 2 Planner Essentials. It's still available on ECD, even though it's been around for a while. And I thought it was perfect because I'm scrapbooking photos of a race that happened in downtown Toronto. So I thought that kind of a map thing would be pretty cool because they were just racing on the streets. So I'm going to start out. So I have this very light color. So it's really an off-white. It's very, very light, but I'm going to use that with my stencil. So I'm just gonna place this because I want it to kind of be coming out. So I'm gonna put that there, and then that's gonna go around there-ish. So I wanna make sure that I'm underneath, that I'm coming out from underneath that piece of paper. So I'm just gonna ink up my brush. Now this takes a fair bit of effort, which I just remembered I should put a little bit of washi tape on there so that it doesn't move. So let's just put a little bit there and there. There we go. It'll make it easier. And then I don't want to have like, it's not like it's a solid line there, but I don't want it to be like more of a solid edge. So I'm going to try to not make it a solid edge on the bottom as well. So I don't know if you can really see that. You can see a little bit of the color changing. But like I said, it's very, very similar color. Yeah. Oh, there, actually that's working better today than it did last night. So maybe my brush has more ink on it now, so it's making it a little bit easier. So just get some of that color on there. Okay, let's just pull that up and see what it all looks like. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna go a little bit up here, a little bit more. There's a weird little lake or something up there. Okay, so that's all that I need to do with that. So I'll just set that out of the way. Now, I might be able to do this. So I'm going to take this piece of tape off and I'm going to put it over here so that it's almost like a hinge, because what I'm going to do is I'm now going to ink up the other side of my stencil. That back out of the way. So let's see. This is not how I did it last night. I took the stencil right off and then I had to match it up. So this is why I'm going to try this. There we go. And then what I'm doing is I'm taking an ink that's just a little bit darker. So of course I can't see comments again. So hopefully I'm not missing any, but definitely drop me a comment if you're watching. Okay, so now I'm just taking this ink pad and I'm just putting it directly onto my stencil. So I don't want it to be too rigid. So I'm just going to try and make sure that my area that I'm covering is random and not like right at the edge of those lines. Hopefully my stencil isn't moving underneath. So how's that look? So now this is not, last night it kind of almost bubbled up a bit, but we're going to see how this works. Okay. I think that looks good. So now we're going to flip it over. Okay. Now I'm just going to take my brayer and run it over there. And let's see if it does the same thing, and it does. I think that's really cool. So I didn't want like it to be solid. I was really happy with how that worked. I'm going to put a little bit more in the middle there because I like that. Whoops, it helps if I use the right side, eh? Okay, we'll put a little bit more there, and then up here, there. That's a little heavy, that's okay. Let's try it again. Some of that might be covered up anyway. There, I'm good. Anyway, I thought that was really cool. I really like the way that turns out. Hopefully I'll lift it up so you can see it a little bit clearer. Set that out of the way. Let me get this off of here, make sure I don't make a mess. Okay. So let's see. So see how it's spotted, I guess is the word. It's not like a solid color. I thought that was really cool. So it almost gives it like a 3D kind of feeling. So anyway, so that's one thing, but I still want to do a little bit more embellishing to this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my other stencils. Here they are. So I grabbed a few other stencils. So this one as well, this is from the Journal Essentials Planner Essentials 2 set. These are from the Journal Essentials. Where did I put my note? Number 3 set, or journal, yeah, right? Anyway, the Journal 3 set. So there's this like crackle and some splatters. And the reason that I'm choosing those is because I have paper that has that same kind of idea. So there's lots of splatters. It's very distressed looking, this paper, and it has this crackle. So I thought that was pretty cool. So let's try and mimic that. So I just got to decide kind of what I'm going to do with that. I haven't really planned this out too much yet. But I'm going to use, I don't want it to be very dark. So this gray was quite dark. So I want it more to be a little bit subtle. So we'll try it with this lighter one. And I might add a little bit of the darker so that I've got a little bit of mix. And I'll try to do the stencil flip with cardstock, not the matte. I'm not quite sure what you mean, Liz. But flipping the cardstock onto the stencil, maybe. Oh, that's actually a lot darker than I thought it would be. So let's do a little bit more. See, I didn't even ink this back up. Hey, Jess. Glad you could join in. Let's see. Yeah, see, that really picks up pretty good. A little bit more. A little bit more down here. So like I said, I'm just gonna, I don't know, going with it. We'll see how it turns out. But I just wanted to have a little bit, oh, I like that actually. So we're gonna be like this and like this. So let's look at this other page. So this one is going to go this way. So same die, right? But I'm just turning it to the side. It just so happened that when I cut my paper was cut like this. These numbers and stuff were all in different orientations. So it just kind of worked out. You probably won't see that anyway. But it's just kind of neat that it worked out that way. So let's put some of this on the corners here as well. I'm liking the corners being cracked. That's kind of neat effect. Go like that. I'm surprised at how little ink I need for this, and it might be because the openings are so much smaller. It's pulling it off of the brush easier. Go like this. And then I don't know how much it's gonna be visible here. I guess it will be at the top though. There, maybe I'm gonna go like this. There, cool. Okay, I like that. And now what else do I want to add? Okay, so we'll set that one aside now. Now this is fairly heavy because of course I'm doing the negative space in there. So I'd almost rather use this like a stamp. But so I might not do that one. So I think what I might do, I might pull out a different color. So let me see where my colors are. I've got, that's a little bit, got this yellowy color. It's not quite the same. Let's try this one. Might be too yellow. I just need a little scrap of paper. I'll do a little test on it and see how it looks. I could even do a blue splatter, but let's see. My yellow. There's my yellow. I don't clean my brushes in between very often, so we'll see. I don't know what color I used last. I'll just take some of that ink off. It's not very heavy anyway, so let's see what this looks like if I, whoops, uh-oh, now I'm dropping things. I use this one, this Sundance. That one's, yeah, see, that one's really dark. But this one, I don't know. I feel like this one's kind of, oh no, that one's, let's see. What do we think? And a piece of this other paper. Hang on. Here we go. This is kind of, okay. So definitely that one's too dark and too orange. But this one I don't mind. So I don't want to do too much of this. I want to be light. Oh, let's get that color off of there. I'm going to end up with it all over my page by mistake. Just going to do a little bit. I don't want a lot of this. I'm going to do it lightly. Oops, that's not one. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I like that. It's not too much. Just gives a little hint of some yellow on there. I just wanted to add a little bit more to this paper so that it's not just plain cardstock. A couple here. Maybe I'll put a couple down here. You might see some of that. Yeah, I like that. I don't want a big one. I want to just keep to these smaller ones. Okay. Maybe do like this one here. Whoa! I guess I should have held the paper on that. Okay. There, we'll do like one big one. Okay, so that's it for that page. And let's put some of these on this other page. And then we can start to assemble. Whoops, that's a little heavy. All of this part will be, my plan, at least at this point, is that the title is going to go kind of over this part. I do like it with being on there. I like that. Yes, I do. I like that. Oh, I really need to hold the paper when I get to the edge like that. Okay, a little bit up here. Almost done this part. Let's go this way. Make sure I don't stick fingerprints all over my paper now that my fingers are all inky. Okay, almost there. I feel like I need just some in here. I don't know how visible that's going to be. Probably will be able to see that. There. Okay. I can always add some of these once I have my page more or less assembled. I can probably sneak some of those in. Okay. So now I can start to assemble. So you see that I have my inked edge. So actually I left one little piece. So everything else is inked, but I just wanted to show you just in case there's some folks that haven't seen this before, but I'm just ink distressing the edge of all of my papers. So I've just got this, I think it's similar to vintage photo color. It's my favorite color for doing the ink distressing. So because this paper is kind of a distressed paper, that's why I'm doing it. I don't always, I actually rarely will ink my papers when I'm doing scrapbook layouts, because it just takes too much time. So I don't want to do it. But especially if I have a paper that is more of this kind of distressed look, I think it looks better when you do distress the edges, because they already kind of have it in areas. So you're just kind of finishing it off. Once you cut it, you kind of cut away a portion. Okay, so that's good. So I'll just tuck that out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding this piece at the top. So I always like to flip it over, and then I grab my grid ruler, because then that helps me to get it nice and straight. Grid rulers are great for that. So I want it, I think, about 3/4. Am I there? Yeah. So 3/4 from the top. This is basically a 1/2 inch strip is usually what you get on papers for your UPC strip. There, and then I'll do the other side at the same time. I typically work on both pages at the same time. I'm just going to flip that over. Sorry, whoop. I kind of go back and forth, but I like to make sure that they line up nicely between each other. I do typically scrapbook double page layouts. I don't know how many people do that anymore, because I know a lot of people just do the single page. I do enjoy doing single pages, but I find that most of mine are double page. The paper was a little bit the other side. Okay. There we go. So, where were we? This one was here, and this one was here. So I'm going to position this one, I think, first, because I want to line this up. So I'm going to just kind of center this one. Oh, my dog's barking at something. I don't know. Hopefully it's nothing major. He sees people walking by and decides he needs to bark. Okay. So I want this one. How far over do I want it? Might change my mind. Let's do 3/4 again. So I'm just kind of eyeballing my center, top to bottom. Okay, and then we're going to flip the pages around again. Okay, I'll get this one ready. And then you'll see I'm going to try and line that up. Okay. So I'm not lining it up to the tab, but I'm lining it up to the main kind of piece. Make sure There. Okay, so I'm just making sure that my lines are straight on that. So what I can do now is just move it because I know my measurement. So from the top edge of my zip strip, I'm going 1 1/4. Get that lined up there. Oh, not moved. Okay, and then I'm gonna go like this, and again I want that centered, right? Yes, I think so. Let's have a look, see how that looks. No, I'm gonna move it over. I'm gonna move it over. Okay, so go back here to where I need to line up. I didn't push that down, so I've got some leeway there. Let's see now. I think I'm gonna like that better. Yeah, it just helps them to relate to each other when it's over like that. So does that make sense? So it's just like a design thing. It helps your eye to flow through the page because there's not a big white gap in between. Okay, so next up, let me just get these stencils out of the way. I've got all of my photos, so let's see if I can get them back into order. So I cut another page. So this one was using, and I didn't pull that one out. Here it is. So this is a great set too. I love this. This is a torn set. So it's that big die there. Love this. So this one is going to go like that. And then I just cut my photo with a mat. I love this because this actually has yellow in it and I didn't pre-plan that. It's going to go like that. Then I have this other one for this main photo. So what I've done is I've kind of got 2 main photos and then I had a whole bunch of photos. So you might, if you've watched some of my videos, you might recognize some of these photos. These are from my day trip journal. So 1 second. Sorry, I just needed a drink. So I had reprinted them because the ones that I had, I'd printed kind of cheaply and they weren't great. And I thought I would replace them, but I couldn't because they were all stuck down. So anyway, I had these ones reprinted and then I realized I'm going to give away my journal because that's my brother. And this was a really special day for him. So I'm going to give him the journal. And then I thought I still need to scrapbook this memory. So everything that's in the journal, I'm kind of compressing into this 2-page layout. So it's not every single picture. I do still have some pictures left. But these are kind of the key points. And because there's still so many, these sleeves are amazing because I can add so many photos, right? So they come in the different sizes and I showed you at the beginning. They coordinate with these journal sleeve fillers dies. So you don't have to have these because these are just square. It shows the sizes. You can just cut your photos or your mats, whatever you're putting in them, to that size. But this makes it so much fun because you can cut this larger piece is the one that fits in the sleeve. Then you have the first mat and then you have the second one. Then you can put fancy things on it. So you'll see that I kind of mix things up a bit the way that I did this. So for this one, I have a photo that's the same original size on both sides. Then I cut that same size. So that's going to go underneath it. And then I have a smaller photo that I'm going to put on there. Okay, so let's go ahead and start to attach some of these. I didn't stick anything together yet because I wanted to do it so you could see how I did that. And I am definitely an eyeball person. Team eyeball. I don't know about you guys, but you did see me use my ruler on this one and this one. But when it comes to my photos, I am definitely team eyeball. So I'm just going to pop these out. So what I like to do when they're stuck in here is I just put one little piece of adhesive in the middle of the photo, and then that just stops them from kind of shifting around. Now this one has a little bit of a white border because it wasn't quite big enough for that die, but that's okay. And then I'm going to show you a trick of how I attach these. Make sure I put it the right way. So you can see that I've folded this. These do not come folded. So they come flat and they're kind of meant to attach like this. But what I did was I folded it over. So right where the little flat piece is, I folded it over and I took my bone folder and I gave it a really good burnish so that now it is folded over and you're not going to see that adhesive strip. Now, you can do it with the adhesive strip showing because David designed these little pieces which are decorative that can go over them and cover them up. And then they just add a little extra decorative element. But for this layout, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to show you this other trick. Okay, so let me attach this one because again, this is, so I cut the base mat with the biggest die and then the next die I used for my photo. I love cutting my photos out with die cuts. It just adds so much interest to them. Okay, and I'm going to attach this one down because I know that I want this to kind of be centered, and then that's going to help me with the placement of my other one. So again, team eyeball. I don't know if I'm not seeing photo comments again. Let me see if I flip that over. Maybe nobody's commenting, which is fine, but hopefully I'm not missing them because I'm not seeing any new comments. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to position this one where I want it. So I think right there is good. And I'm not putting adhesive right on the edge. So see, I haven't put adhesive on that edge because I am going to tuck underneath. I think I want to be tight because I know on my other page the photos need to be tight. Now I might just put my ruler on here just to make sure because that one looks like it's kind of crooked. Hang on, pardon my head. It's hard to see when it's so far away. Here, that's good enough. I don't worry about it too much. Okay, so now I'm going to take this and I'm just going to pull off a bit of the backing. I'm going to put it on this side and I'm going to tuck that under because I'm going to slide this underneath, and then I line up my pocket nicely, and then I can push this down and peel that off, and then I'm going to give that a good burnish just to make sure that my adhesive is stuck under there. And now look at that. How great is that? Now once I'm done, I'm going to show you how to put this into your scrapbook as well. This was part of another zip strip, another UPC strip. So I just fussy cut it out. And I thought it worked really well with this because I've got two of these and they suited it really well. So that's just going to go there. Okay, and then I'm going to move on to this page because there's a lot more going on this page. So I'm going to start with this. So this photo I just cut with my trimmer based on the size that it was. So it's basically a 3.5 by 5 photo. And then that can be stuck down onto here. I'm not going to stick this other piece down yet because you're going to see I've got quite a lot going on this page. So I need to make sure that everything's going to fit nicely. Oh, it helps if I don't put it upside down, right? Try that again. There we go. Okay. So that's going to sit kind of like that. And that goes there. So that's another piece. So let's put that down just to get it out of the way. Oh, that's good enough. I don't worry too much about having a ton of adhesive on my scrapbook layouts because they're going to be in a sleeve anyway. Okay. So I've got this one. So this is the larger of the rectangles. So I've used two different sizes. So these two are the larger rectangle up here. And then I have more, and these are the smaller ones. Okay, so this I cut from, again, from that torn set. This one here. So this I'm going to use for journaling. I could have tucked another photo under there, but I didn't have one. So I'm going to use this for journaling. So let's just stick that on there now too. And then I'm going to stamp. Oh, I don't want to do that yet. Sorry. I need to stamp on here first. So let me just set this out of the way. I want some lines on here. Here, let me just grab this little piece. There. So I know my stamp, this will stop it from sticking to my desk. My stamp is bigger. So normally I would just stamp it on a piece of paper. Okay, so this is CS253 note pieces. So this is an older stamp. I did not check to see if it was still available. And I'm going to use this one. I like to have lines on my journal boxes so that I don't, because otherwise I will totally go crooked. So I need a guide for my writing. Okay, so I don't know if I've actually used this one before, so I just want to make sure that there's no oils from manufacturing on it. I would normally rub it on my hand, but I just put hand lotion on. Okay, so that should be good. Okay, I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this yellow color. I was thinking I was going to use the brown, but we're going to use that. Okay, now see if I can get this straight. I will probably have to stick my head in here again. Okay, hopefully I'm straight. I just kind of look to see. Hopefully I've lined those up nicely. Whoop, there we go. Hey, cool. So that looks pretty good. Oh, that's not going to come off there. Just give that a wipe. Okay, now I got to peel that off of there, but it's non-stick, so it comes off. Oops. Okay, and so then that's going to go, I'm going to do it this way so that the distressing is at the bottom. Go like that. There we go. Okay, let's get back to this. So I've got, I'm going to just do, oh, so none of these are stuck down. So I need to do that as well. Let's just shove those over a bit. Oh, I see another comment. Okay. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you there. Okay, let me just organize this. So these ones are already in the pockets, so they just need to be attached. So for these ones, I cut the photo with the smallest, I cut one mat with the next one, and then I cut the base page. But then on the other side, I just cut the photo with the smallest one. So we're going to look a little bit different. So, same paper. Cool, eh? Okay, so this goes on there. So just get that centered. Like that. And then I'm going to have this as the front. So I want this photo as my front photo. One thing that's fun with doing photos in these sleeves is if you have like a photo that's not something you necessarily want the world seeing, you can tuck it on the back side and then people only see it if they actually flip it up. So I've done that before when my kids were little and they weren't quite dressed appropriately, running around naked or something, and then you put that photo on the underside and then it's not as visible when people are flipping through. Okay, so there's that one. Let's get this one done. So I have 2 boys that are at home now, and whenever we go and do stuff, I always take like a photo of this boy and then a photo of that boy, kind of when they're doing something. So that's what this is. Photo of each of them on a police motorcycle. My father worked for the police, so it had brought back a lot of memories when we saw them. So this one is the youngest son, this one is the oldest, so he gets to go on the front of this one. So I always try and balance those out when I'm doing flaps like this on my layouts, so that I don't have just one kid on the front photos. And did I show you? Yes. So as you're putting that back photo on, you have to be aware of how your flap is flipping, right? If it's going side to side or if it's going top to bottom. So I flip it up as if it was in there already, and then I know that I'm putting this up the right way, right? So there we go. Now that one can go in. So those go there, and then I have, so that goes under that one, and this is going to go under that one. So instead of one photo, I got 3 photos in the same amount of space, which is really cool. Okay. So now it looks like they don't fit, but they will. So I'm going to put this here. I didn't actually attach these, I don't think either. Did I? Oh, yes, I did. No, I didn't. Never mind, I didn't. So let's do that. So this one goes on the front because this one is our last photo of the day as we were heading home. So it's going to go underneath, and this one is going that way. And this one, so see, it was a tiny bit too small. But I don't care. It's fine. It's just a little strip of white. It's fine. Okay. And then now that can go in. I can get it open. There we go. Okay. So those are all ready. So these are the bases. So I just need to position these on here. We're going to go like that and like that. Yes. Okay. So we'll start with this one, because I want it to line up with this bottom corner here. So that's why I want to make sure that this one goes down first. Okay. Oops, make sure it's straight. And then didn't make sure that I had there. It's okay. Which is the top. There we go. Make sure I don't have adhesive at the top. Now you can. I do it all the time, and then I just peel it up, and it's fine. But of course, it's easier if it's not there. I'm going to stick this one down just to make sure that things get lined up nicely. And then I'm not going to even worry about these little pieces. If they get a little bit mangled when I'm putting them in and out of the page protector, then that's okay. There. So it's, I wanted the little, I had positioned it over so it lined up. I didn't like that. I like it with this bit showing. My spacing is okay. I think I'm going to move that one over just a little bit more, so it's a little bit more even with that. And then this one goes on. And then this one, my flap is going on this side. So no adhesive there. That. Okay. So now I'm just going to do the same thing. So I'm just going to peel that. Whoops. Oh, these ones I didn't burnish. Because I wanted to show you. So these ones I have flipped them over, but I did not burnish them. So they're not sticking down as much. So you just want to make sure that you get really good burnish on that. So see the difference that makes when they have been burnished. Can you see that? Like this one's folded over, but I mean, it doesn't stay the same. This one really stays because I burnished it down. Okay, get that out of the way. Come on. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to slide this underneath. Come on, make sure I get that under there. Here, do it that way. Whoops, it's proving to be a little difficult, that one. There we go. Okay, line up, line up, line up. There we go. Am I lined up? Yep. Give that a good burnish. Okay. And then this one is next. So again, really burnish that down. make sure like you get right on the edge of that, because then that will really give it a good fold. Okay, putting hand lotion on right before your scrapbook is not a good idea. Okay, get that. So I'm lining it up down here, and I'm just holding it. Oops, I think I pulled that one a little bit. There we go. Okay. And then one more. Oh, those things are sticky. So again, really make sure I get like the edge of that. And then, come on, give me that. There we go. So I think I'm underneath there. Hope so. Yes, I am. There we go. Am I straight? Yeah, okay. I don't think my fold was quite straight. Okay, so that's kind of my basic layout. So I've got all of these things going on. Now I did create a title, which I put out of the way. Okay, so I cut a title using, what is this? This is Planner Essentials 23 die. So this is the larger alphabet. From that one comes with like 3 different sizes of alphabet, and that is still available on the site. I like it a lot. It's a fun alphabet, and I'll just show you quickly. So I cut out my title. So I cut it out twice. Let's just grab that. This again, so that I don't make a mess. And I need my tweezers for that. So I just am creating a shadow on my title to give it a little bit more weight. So all you do is you cut it out twice, get some adhesive on there. It would have been great if I'd remembered to put double-sided tape on the back, but I never seem to remember that. Okay, and then I'm just offsetting it a tiny bit. And I grabbed the wrong side again. It's easier to grab, oh, now I'm all twisted. There. Okay, that makes it easier for me to line it up this way, because I want my shadow here to be like that. And because it is kind of easier with it being liquid adhesive, because now I have a little bit of time to move it around a bit and make sure, because it's really hard to line it up perfectly the first time. So liquid adhesive is probably better. Okay, there we go. And then I just have to decide if I'm going to add anything else to this. So I do think I'm probably going to put a little like subtitle, but I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet. So I might have to wait and actually print something out. So that is the title, which it's a little bit distracting with everything behind it. So I might change that up. And then I also, at the last second there, I cut these gears out because I thought, oh, those might be really neat to add. So I might have to play around with that. But, okay, just checking to see how long I've been on here. But yeah, so let's see. So yeah, it definitely needs some embellishing. That tends to take me a while because I go through like everything I own to try and decide what to do. Excuse me, and I cut stuff out with my dies and stuff. So I'm not going to bore you with that. But what I'm going to do is I want to show you how you put this in your page protector. So especially this one. This one's fairly easy because it's just one. But with having 3 flaps, I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me just get that out of the way. I'm going to grab my page protector. So here we go. So this is my right side. So I need to make sure that my holes are on that side. And you start out by inserting it. Okay, And then I'm going to grab, I'm going to grab this thing over here. Okay, so this is just, you know, one of these things. Oh my. Oh, why is the D? So Dana, that's just the nature of this alphabet. That it's a mix of upper and lower case. So see, it's just all, they're all different. I was thinking it was just the vowels, but it's not, because the R is a lowercase too. So it's just kind of a fun, different way to create an alphabet. Okay, so I'm going to just take this and I'm going to give it a push, okay, right on the corner of where that flap is. And then I'm not going to worry about this middle because it's too close together. So I'm just going to make that one solid cut. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, I'm just pushing in there because that's going to leave a mark on my page protector. Not like it's easy to see. It would be easier to see if you did it with a marker, but I don't like to put a marker on there in case it won't come off. Just double checking. So then I'm going to mark this corner and this corner. Okay, so I have the two corners marked on both of these, and now I can pull this out. Okay, and then you want to grab a mat, a cutting mat. So you just need it to be bigger than the piece you're going to cut. But this is just the one that I have, and it's a perfect size because it fits in here. And then we just got to make sure we get these marks. So like I said, it would be easier to see if I put a marker on there. So maybe I'll do that just to make sure. I think the marker is going to rub off anyway. Excuse me. Okay. Whoops. Sorry. Just make sure. Okay. So you can see it. I don't know if you can see that. So right there, because of the glare of the light, I can see it on my angle. So there's two of them. So can you see that even? I don't even think you can see that. Right? So there's a little mark right there. And then there's a little mark right there. Okay. And then I like to use my hole punch. You don't have to use your hole punch. One of the reasons for using the hole punch is it's supposed to stop it from ripping. So if you cut a straight line in plastic, then it's easy for it to then continue ripping. If you make a circle, then it doesn't tend to rip as easily. So that's why I do it. I prefer to do it that way. It also gives me a little bit more leeway with my pocket. So if I made a little bit of a mistake, I don't know, it seems to make it easier. So I'm just giving that a really good push because I think it's full. See, it didn't really cut all the way through, which is pretty typical. But I think it's like full. The stuff sticks in. Yeah, it's really full. So there's just all kinds of stuff in here. So there's nowhere for the piece to go when I push on it. Yeah, I haven't done that for a while. Look at all this stuff that's coming out of there. So that's a good tip, is make sure that your hole punch is emptied out every now and then so that it will actually be able to cut. Whoops, now there's like a piece sticking out. You can't cut through if there's nowhere for it to go. So this is an old product. I don't even know if these are available anywhere. But it's no different than if you use the old one with the hammer. It's the same thing. Somehow this is designed so that you can just do that, which makes it a lot easier. So it does cut better once you take those pieces out. Okay. Then I've got to flip over and do these two. And I've got some weird marks on here. But there and there, those are my holes. Okay. Now, one thing to keep in mind when you're doing your layout, and I have made that mistake before, is you don't want these pockets to be right at the edge because it's very hard to cut your holes at the very edge. See, I'm pretty close. That's about as close as you want to get. Because otherwise you'll end up like on your seam or something. So you don't want to be too close to the edge when you've got those. Okay, I think I've got those right through even. Okay, so now you take your ruler. So this is a rubber cork back ruler. That is key to this because this is very slippery. So if I was to use this ruler here, it just slides way too easily and I'll end up making a mistake. Oh, look at that. Sorry, I got caught on my phone cord. Whoa, make you all dizzy. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I got my one hole here and I want to put my ruler into the center of that, and then I'm lining up with my other hole, which I can't properly see now. So yeah, it's hard to see. Usually I lean over a lot. Okay, and then I'm just going to run that knife all the way down and connect the dots. Ooh, I think I went a little bit past there. Okay, so now that is cut, and now I got to do this other one. So hopefully this makes sense and that you can figure out how to do this on your own. But I love adding interactive elements to my scrapbook pages. I do it a lot. See, now I can't see that hole. Where is it? Yeah. Yep, that was it. Okay. Okay, usually when I'm doing this, my head is like right on top of it, so it's easier to see. But that wouldn't work very well for a video. Okay, so now my page protector is ready, and I can stick this page back in here. And I got little dots everywhere. Okay, so I always like to just curve mine a little bit. Now, whoops, now I'm getting stuck to everything. So as I'm putting this in, I'm going past, and right when I get to this edge, I went a little bit too far. I'm just going to grab those two flaps, and they just get pulled out of your page protector. There. Okay, and then you just kind of make sure that they're all the way through, and then the adhesive isn't right at the edge, so I always like to try and make sure that that piece, my page protector, goes under that little edge there. And now for this one, it's a little bit harder, but it's probably be easier. It's a little bit harder because this is there. But anyway, see, I'm just gonna bend it back and flip it through. There. And now I have this really fun, interactive scrapbook page. Oh, and look, I was a little bit off on my marking there. See if that will move over. I can get it under there. Oh, I don't think I've ever had that happen before. I was a little bit off on my cut. So I might need to trim that a little bit of my, I'm gonna maybe, oh yeah, because look, see? I was totally off on that, because that needs to be over here. So I just need to trim a little piece of this page protector off. So I think I'm just going to use my scissors. So I gotta say, I've never had that happen before. And I'm just, you're not really going to be able to see this probably. Just sliding my scissors along that edge. Oh, I slipped. Yeah, see, that's working. Come on. No, no, it doesn't want to cut it. I want to cut too much off. Okay. There. Okay, now it works. Yeah, I've never done that before. Is it? There was a little piece there. Okay. So there. So then I would just do the same for this one, right? It'll be easier to put that in because it's closer to the top. See? Look at that. Isn't that cool? So I definitely need some more embellishing on here, but I need more time to sort that out and then figure out what I'm going to do about this title, because now that I've got that stencil on there, I'm not too happy. It's too busy. And the letters are a little bit too fine, I think. So I need to Yes, Jess, he's going to love the actual journal that I made for him. So this is for me, and then he's going to get the journal that I made. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think it stands out enough? Because when I look at it, like in the video there, it looks better than I feel like it looks here. I'm not sure. So even though this isn't finished, I can easily pull these back out and pull this whole page out so that I can embellish it. I do like the ideas of the gears. That doesn't look good there. They might have to do some different colored gears, because I think, oh, that might be cool. Add a little bit more blue in there. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the gears, and then I'll have to look through and find a few other things maybe that I can add on there. Probably some gems, because I always like to finish off with some gems on my layouts. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that, and that you give it a try and take out some of your dies and use them a little bit differently. Have a lot of flaps to get done. Yes. Oh, okay, Liz. Yes, I find it way better to do it this way. A lot of people, when they're using flaps on their scrapbook pages, will actually just stick these on top of their page protector. I don't like that. I don't like seeing that adhesive and the whatever. Like, this just looks like it really belongs, eh? It looks great. It's hidden, really. I mean, you can see it if you really look, but the fact that the flap is underneath that mat, I think is really cool. I think I need to trim a little bit more off that. I'm really happy with that stencil. I think that looks really cool. Anyway, that's it. Flip it around and say goodbye. Does that work? There we go. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. So I'm gonna save this. I'll put it on my YouTube channel, and it'll be here on Facebook anyway, so you can watch it anytime if you want to go back and recreate it. So everybody have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.